Welcome to Cannabis School. I'm your host, Jesse Angeles.
And I'm Brandon Elder.
And we're here to talk to you about everything pertaining to cannabis, from vape,
flower,
edibles,
strains,
and everything in between.
Thanks for tuning in. Welcome back.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
So this is a new experience for us. We're trying new camera angles, and it's going to be weird because we can actually see each other.
Because normally I'm looking through here to try and see him through all these wires and shit.
And we're turning sideways, and we figure, let's just move some camera angles around.
And you guys have probably been asking, like, dude, what the hell? Like, why aren't you turning these angles?
Haven't you guys figured this shit out yet? Sorry. Apparently we were a little high and didn't realize that's not that great.
Oh, well, right? Hey, again, guys, thank you so much for being able to tune in. Remember that it's because of you that we have this podcast. We're so excited. And one of the big things that we want to ask you is leave a review. Even though wherever it is, Apple, Spotify, no matter what you're listening to, what we want you to do is go and leave a review.
Yeah, right now, take a second. Still keep listening. Go back to the main page of Cannabis School and just leave us a review, please. Yeah. We would greatly appreciate it.
You have no idea how much that helps us out. And while you're on it, if you're feeling a little froggy, go ahead and go to our Patreon. Give us what you can. We ask just $1 from every
penny helps. Yeah,
every single one helps. If you can do that, go ahead. You're going to be able to find that down in the description below. So today, we're going to be talking about a strain that it's one of those, and I am not an indica guy. Like, I like it every once in a while, but I get panicky as shit on it. I don't know what it is.
Almost most indicas.
Most high
THC.
Yeah, because,
percentage.
And that's the one that's really crazy on this one. So this is a dessert type strain.
Well, you know what they say.
What's that?
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Well, then you would want to be smoking on this. This is apple fritters we're talking about today.
And it tastes like apple fritters.
In a bit, I get the hint of like almost a tart apple.
Yeah, and like berry hints and hints of vanilla on the exhale.
Yeah, that's the weird part. Yeah. I thought that was crazy. But the part I love about it, and just going right into it, it is one of the best relaxing strains for natural sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Great on that. I smoked it. I try to stay awake.
Yeah?
I was talking to my wife, and I was just in the best mood, and then morning.
Wow.
It was crazy.
That's impressive.
But it also varies on what you're doing, right? So, I mean, on the sleep side, it really helped out. It wasn't my intent, but it was just a really nice side effect of it.
Yeah.
But what's something that you felt right away that stuck out?
Oh, it was very fast onset. So for me, it was a very cerebral feeling at first, a lot of creativity and focus that came. And then, but instantaneous, like, melting of any negative thoughts.
Yeah.
So it instantly took away all the stress, all the shit in life to allow that focus and creativity to flow in.
Oh, yeah.
So that was amazing. This one is really high percentage THC still.
Yeah. What's from like 30 something?
It ranges from 20 to 32, which is a massive swing.
That's a huge swing.
But it can explain like the really sedative feeling at the end where, relaxation and that into you dozed off and it was the next day.
Oh, it was awesome. And even on the pain side, for me, because indica, I typically only take if I've got a lot of pain. Now I'm getting really back into the gym, like super focused, like when I was in my younger years. And I love it now where if I'm recovering, if I'm in a lot of pain, so if you've got joint pain, it's really good for lower back pain. I loved it. And there are certain strains that just like, they go, oh, this is really good. Like blueberry. Blueberry's a good strain overall, but it didn't hit the pain receptors in my CB2 the way that this did.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense because this has this genetics, the cannabinoids and the terpene profile in this is crazy.
Yeah. What's the genetics on there?
Yeah, so this is actually Lumpy's flower. So they think the genetic lines come from sour apple and animal cookies. But there's also the Ask Growers Foundation that says that it's from a Kerala South Indian landrace strain.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Never heard of that.
me either.
No, never.
But it has THC, CBD, CBC, CBG, CBN, THCV in that as well. And it has like the terpene profile, phelandrine, limonene, caryophyllene, pinene, myrcene, and ocimene, humulene, linalool, and
Osamine
terpinolene. So it has a crazy
has
wide
all the
range.
leans.
Yeah, right?
That's cool. That's probably why that really good.
Entourage effect of just like a
Yeah.
really complete. That's what I think the entourage effect is almost a more complete high.
I would agree. And that's some of the key things that I felt on this to let you know that it's fast acting. I felt it in my face.
Mm-hmm.
It was my whole face and I felt really good. But then like you said, it starts to be able to like I would imagine a pitcher of warm water being poured all over your back and just kind of letting it and it's like honey but
Yeah.
not
It like
sticky.
melts down your
Yeah.
back and you're just like, oh, it's true. This was surprising. Like one of the most reported effects or things it's used for is pain.
Yeah, I would agree. Dude, I did a shitload of deadlifts the day
Mm-hmm.
before, and my lower back, I mean, it was sore. It wasn't like I was hurt. I don't have any spinal problems, at least that
Yeah.
I know of, but it was just awesome. And that's what put me to sleep because the next time I smoked it, I didn't feel that. I
Hmm.
felt alert. I felt okay. I felt talkative. I felt really just chill, super chill. But reading on it from other people's perspective, some people are like, oh, this is a chill strain. Some other people are like, I didn't know where I was at.
Yeah, for new users, it's definitely a low and slow strain.
Yeah, super slow.
Yeah. When I got my collection of flower, when we got this in there, I didn't touch this for a while because
Really?
it was one of the least appealing strains in the batch that I got from the look.
I was
And
the same way, dude.
and I was like, you know, it doesn't look as great. And finally I'm like sitting there one day, I'm like, I'm gonna try apple fritters. And I pulled it out and I loaded a bowl and I sat down and I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. Why haven't I been smoking this?
Yeah.
And it slaps you right in the face and you're like, this is what I wanted. Euphoria, like lack of stress, just happiness, and overwhelming sense of peace, and like just it was great.
I tried it three different ways and I had it three different ways in flower form, right? So I tried it in my bong. I tried it
Mm-hmm.
in my what's it called?
Your packs.
My Pax 3 and a joint.
Okay.
And I had three different effects. So from my bong, I felt that's the time where I put my ass to sleep. Like it was. But
Okay.
the PAX 3, it's really mild, but it's long lasting. I felt elevated for probably almost 2 hours
Yeah.
on one bowl.
So, and this is why I think that is because usually when you bake or use a vaporizer,
Yeah.
you're not burning it. There's no flame to flower. You're not
Right.
actually causing an ignition. So you're having such lower temperatures, you're actually just baking that. So the effect feels more like an edible. Every time I use a vaporizer, I feel like it's a mild edible experience
Yeah.
almost, where it is a longer lasting effect, but it doesn't feel the same to me as hitting like a bong or smoking an entire joint by
No, no.
myself.
Well, and that was the thing too. Like with the bong, I felt it pretty quickly. With the only thing is it lasted for like about an hour and a half. From the bong, when I did it the PAX, it lasted a lot longer. But when I hit the joint, the onset was almost immediate and it was short. It was less than an hour. Yeah.
Whoa.
And this is like a half-gram joint that I rolled. And it was
And you
still
smoked it by yourself or did you share
just
that?
myself.
Okay.
So I went down to my garage, I puffed that away, and it went real quick. And so, and you think about it, that's exactly what it's supposed to do, right? Joints are, I mean, you could smoke 2 or 3 joints within several hour period, and you're going to be fine.
Oh, yeah. Usually when I go hiking, I bring 3, 4 and smoke them
Yeah,
all on my hike.
yeah, because it will be quick. It's a quick onset. So in the flower form, those 3 different ways I tried, and I'm pretty sure you tried it almost the exact same way because you have your what's the vaporizer that you use?
The Aerizer, oh,
The thing that's got the funny looking straw.
Yeah, the Airizer. Oh, I don't know. We'll look it up and I'll put the link down below.
Mm.
But it's got a tube. I actually like that more than the packs.
I still really enjoy the packs. I
Not
like yours, but I don't like it as much as the packs.
for home. If I were out and about, the packs is better. But where I'm at
Yeah, the weight of
home,
it.
and this thing, the battery lasts me a couple days
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
versus the packs is dead in a couple hours for me.
Ugh.
And then I'm having to charge it again, clean it all the way out. This thing, I literally just take that tube, I set it in like rubbing alcohol or the Zep stuff that I get from Lowe's,
Mm-hmm.
let it sit in there for a little bit, take it out, it's clean. I go back to using it.
So much nicer than
That's
the packs.
all I have to do to clean it.
That's the thing I hate about the packs. You've got to clean that.
It's a bitch, yeah.
It is a bitch, and I haven't cleaned it in a while.
And so then it
I'm a
tastes
dirty
really
fucker.
shitty.
That's what it is.
But the thing is, with those ones, like you just can't pull through it because it has a mesh screen.
Right.
And so you're like, all right, well, I just have to clean it then. So you just soak it in, but it's not doesn't
crazy.
take any effort.
No, I would say the packs is by far the most difficult to clean, but as far as consistency is concerned, I love it. I absolutely love it.
I love the size for portability and like being out, but for me, using medically at home and wanting something that lasts longer, the Airizer one is fantastic, and I can charge it and use it at the same time.
So common typical effects that people have: euphoria, euphoric, sleepy, happy. Common usages for pain, stress, and depression. Depression, yes, I could see that.
And anxiety, insomnia.
Now, again, we had already talked about this. This is definitely not for the beginner user. I would
Not in
not-
any high dose.
No.
No.
And that's the problem. I mean, because flower's great. If you get in a vape pen in this, I've never seen it personally, but it doesn't mean it's not out there.
Yeah,
I
haven't
guarantee it's
either.
out there.
Yeah, I mean, this has a lot. This has more out there than some of the strains that we review.
Oh, totally. This is a pretty common strain you can find pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's really good, whether it's West Coast, East Coast. I mean, East Coast may be a different little bit of story. The lineage is definitely going to be different. As we know, I mean, even like Pineapple Express, you know, or even
climate and that.
or Blue Dream. These are ones that you won't have the same effect depending on you are geographically.
Yeah, it'll affect
because it's a different lineage and different grow and everything else.
Everything in the air changes it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Right, from the air to the soil.
The quality.
Yeah, so you really have to, it's just depending on, but from our personal experience and knowing my tolerance is a little bit lower than yours, I would say this is a great late afternoon to after work strain or hanging out for the weekend strain. This isn't a wake and bake for me.
I would agree. Even for me, like this one was it's a great strain, but it's not one that I'm going to feel focused, productive.
Right.
Like I had creativity in that. And yes, there's certain things I can sit down and do, but there's still that, like, it's a heavy hitter.
It really is. I mean, my wife and I had it one night and she had some shit she had to get done. Nope. She just says, I can't even pay attention.
Really?
Yeah, she just wasn't into it. She's just like, I'm good. I'm just going to relax.
Don't care.
And that's exactly it. This is definitely one of those I don't give a shit strains.
Well, if it's not really that big of a priority, you're going to push it off because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it's just it's a good feel for a really good feel strain. You feel it's not necessarily the euphoria you feel, it's just overall happiness, I would say. It was really good. And
like it is a euphoric strain, but yeah, it is the overall sense of like peace and happiness that like comes, it's a different.
Well, and here's something else. It wasn't munchy for me at all. I didn't get the munchies at all.
It's not one that really produced a lot of munchies.
I didn't have bad cotton mouth. It was pretty solid for an indica.
Very smooth strain.
Yeah, super smooth. No, a lot of cough, which is kind of weird depending on the terpene profile that it has, because sometimes, well, wait a minute, did they have beta-carotene in there?
I had carotene, but I don't know if that's, some places they actually put it as beta-carotene, other ones have carotene, so.
Typically, like the beta-carotene has that very peppery.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it in this at all. I loved it.
That's awesome.
And on the flower side, I would be curious on a distillate of what it would do. I guarantee distillates just make me cough anyways.
Yeah. I'd be curious to try it in like a concentrate or something to see.
Like a live rosin pen or even get it in a wax,
Yeah.
right? Using it in the, what's it called? What's your thing?
Oh, the Dr. Dapper switch.
Yeah, if this was in a dab form, I think this would be really,
Oh,
really good.
that would be awesome. And
Yeah.
it would hit for hours.
Yeah, you would definitely
Mm.
feel so if you can look for this in a dab, I think that'd be really awesome.
If you're
That
an experienced user.
exactly. And what we mean by experienced user is that you've been using pretty consistently throughout several months, right? You're starting to learn what strains really vibe with you, which ones are maybe not so much.
You're
We
less anxious all the
right.
time with using things like that. That just it comes with time.
Yeah, it definitely comes with time, but I would say around like the 5 month mark, you start feeling a little, got a little more pep in your step, and you're like, okay, I kind of know I can take a little bit more here or there. You've tried pens, you've done the edibles,
Yeah.
then you're ready to go. I mean, I would say flower or vape together, and then below that one, you've got your edibles, but being very careful.
Well, actually, these quick drops things, they're super onset fast, and you can dose them down super low.
Oh yeah.
Even those ones that are a milligram per drop, and they're really fast coming down. So it's
Well,
not a long-term experience if you're
that
not taking a higher dose.
right, exactly. And we'll save any more talking about quick drops. We're gonna do a whole episode on those guys. That's a badass product. It's very new, and I will tell you that thing is popping. It's super cool. It's one of the best. One of the best products that we've been able to try.
Yeah.
That is very unique.
Perfect for anyone who really likes having a drink.
Yeah, absolutely. But we'll get more into that later on.
Oh, yeah.
Um, man, I would just say,
This strain, though, it really popcorny size nugs.
oh yeah,
Everything we get, though, is super like crazy trichome covered.
oh 100%.
But I would say that this little green, like nugs, they were so dense and really, I don't know, had a lot of color, a lot of purple, a lot of orange hairs in it, and then just crazy dusting of trichomes. But maybe it was the size that didn't appeal to me, or just the fact that I had all of these other strains that were just really calling my name.
Oh yeah, and I don't know. It's kind of difficult. Brandon and I have talked about this several times. It's a little difficult when we try so many different strains, and you really have to sit and think about it. Some of these strains kind of feel similar, but I would say apple fritters is a very different type of indica. For experienced users who are typically a sativa whore like myself, who it's sativa all day, all night, and I am like that. I could have sativa at night, and I will go to sleep.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
feel good. My wife has sativa. She's gonna have a panic attack. She's gonna be like, "This got me racing. It's got my thoughts racing." And again, switching back and forth through different types of strains, indica to sativa, and into your hybrids. Hybrids are always a happy place for almost anybody, I would say.
Yeah, I think as long as it's a good hybrid.
Yeah,
There are just some that don't hit well. They
no.
just are, I feel like a miss.
And most strains are. I mean, if you've got a new strain such as Mac 11,
Mac 1.
Mac. Fuck, I do that every time,
Yeah.
right? Mac 1.
Clearly wasn't memorable.
I know, right? Mac 1. I mean, it is a hybrid of two different strains, but it wasn't really great for me. It just wasn't. It didn't hit right.
I think we need to find that in flower and give it a shot. Just
let us know.
There was people in the show that said, "Hey, you just must have had a shitty batch."
Which is really horrible to hear about, because I mean that type of cart that we've used for years now,
consistent as hell.
Yeah, super consistent, and it's kind of like,
yeah, dang. Well, I mean, I will definitely try it if someone's gonna go, "Hey, my experience was totally different. I actually had this and it was fucking amazing." I'm like, "All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna sit down and try that, but I'm gonna look for it in this other experience form, because obviously the cart that we had was not the experience we wanted."
Yeah, and I mean, I get that. It just
Speaking of experiences, though,
yeah,
I did find a review.
Get laid on me.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how well it works for insomnia, as I just smoked some not too long ago. But what I can say is this is now one of my top 3 strains when it comes to relief of stress, depression, and anxiety. I took 3 hits, and the hits were very smooth. And the taste is great. Normally, other strains make me cough badly. I didn't cough at all with this one,
Mm-hmm.
nor did it make my throat or chest burn. Typical in new users.
Yeah.
I feel very relaxed and have a mind free of any negativity. I
There
also
you
feel the
go.
tingles that this strain may cause, and the tingles are not like the ones I get when I get anxiety. I like these ones. Let's see if it makes me hungry now.
Yeah. Well, it definitely wouldn't make them hungry, but all the things they described. I actually wanted to share one. This is an awesome one. It says, I got this strain in diamond sauce form. Now, Brandon, diamond
Yep.
sauce, right?
I need to change my pants.
And had a fat glob sesh with my Doge, and it made me trip balls and imagine 4D aliens were doing tests on me while I was staring at the COD loading screen for 3.5 hours. Overall, solid strain, 9 out of 10. So, I mean,
Damn, I'll have what they're
yeah,
having.
right. I mean, and that goes back to what we were talking about. If you're going to be using sauce, or you're going to be using diamond sauce, or you're going to be using
Dabs.
wax,
Yeah.
those dabs are not to be messed with. You need to know your tolerance level.
Oh yeah.
You got to have a good understanding of your
You can still
endocannabinoid
do a
system.
dab, but you need to do it so small with it. Like you can take the pin, like a
Well, like
head
the
of a pin.
packs,
Yeah.
like the packs can do, or any other vaporizer that has an option for that one. And I would say your smaller ones, you really can't put a whole lot in there. I remember the packs one; it's like this tiny little oven and says hot on the side.
And it leaks everywhere.
Yeah, you literally have to have it in space where there's no gravity, because that shit just all of a sudden bubbles over the top. Even if you put a little bit in there, it always bubbles over the top. But it's a very different type of experience using a PAX as opposed to like a Dr. Dabber switch. Dr. Dabber switch is going to be instantaneous, as again the PAX takes a little bit of time to kick in, and you usually don't feel it until you're about, I would say, just an independent sesh, just sitting there smoking on yourself in your bathroom with the fan on, and you're like, it's about 15 minutes of puffing on this where you start feeling it. Truly.
Wow.
Like, what's the strain? It was in wax. I gave you the rest of it.
I don't know. The one that I had last.
Tangy.
Oh, what was Tangy?
It was Tangy. Tangy's
Thinking
a
about
good
it, yeah.
sativa, and puffing on that, it took a while to kick in, but it did last longer. It lasted quite a bit longer. So I would say for those who have chronic pain,
Oh, dabbing is amazing.
yeah, definitely look into dabbing.
I don't typically do it all the time, but like when I measured out, I think I did a third of a gram. And that was fine, but it lasted for 3, 4 hours, and I wasn't looking for a pen. I wasn't trying to puff on anything because I
That's
didn't
good.
have any pain. I didn't even think about it. It was just like I was living normal life.
Yeah, apple fritters is, I would say, if you can find that in wax, which I would be very interested in holding on to some of that later on, because that would be a great substitute for pain. And I mean, lately, just going to the gym, I'm popping ibuprofen, but I had a little bit of apple fritters that I had over there. I even set some aside. I'm like, I ain't touch. I'm gonna save that for a rainy day, because
I
it was
should have
awesome.
done that. Yeah.
It was good. It was really good. But yeah, love this strain. Absolutely love this strain. This is good. Highly recommended. Yeah.
10 out of 10. Yeah, tell your friends.
Yeah. It was
Tell your
really
mom. This is definitely one to write home about. So
good. Yeah. This is really good. This is a really good strain. I have no negative anything on this. I loved it. I love the feel. I like the flavor. For those of us who have been smoking for a while, you can actually start tasting all the different, flavonoids and the terps and everything. Other people will be like, I just taste burning plant.
that happens for a while too.
Yeah, it took years for me to finally
Also,
get
if
to
you
that
get
point.
like, if you have a bong with a nice water catcher, and then if you also put an ash catcher on as well, that'll really help clean up the taste, clean up the flavor,
Yeah,
because it's filtering it a bunch too.
yeah. Make sure you clean your bongs like before
Oh
every
yeah.
every time. Like, get that rinsed out. Don't let the water sit in there. Like, I know you young guys are like, nah, I'll just let it chill. Bro, don't be that guy.
Yeah, just go rinse it out. It really isn't that hard.
It's like somebody walking around with a dirty ass doesn't know how to wipe. Like, bro, come on. That's not cool. I just
Do you
sat in
want to
this.
see it?
No, it's not even that. I just sat in this chair and it's plastic and it still smells. And you left 15 minutes ago. That's the kind of people who don't clean their bongs. Dirty ass people.
Clean your bongs, clean
And
your assholes.
yeah, I used to tell my kids before, I used to teach martial arts for years, and I said, wash your ass before you come to class. Like that's always had. So wash your bong before you get it on,
Yep.
right? So I mean, it's so good, but definitely pick up apple fritters. It
Yeah.
was awesome. So again, thank you guys so much.
Thanks
Remember
for
to give
tuning
us
in.
a review.
Yeah. Give us a review.
I don't even care if it's
Tell
like
us
a
what you think.
letter. Like you just go, this is Johnny 6436 2, and you just put like an A and a S and a D. That's
Oh,
it.
I was just thinking it's like F.
F. Just put F. I don't
Yep.
care. But put that out there. It helps us a ton. Again, go to our Patreon. Anything will be able to help. If you can do $1, that's going to help being able to produce more of this content.
Yeah. Thanks so much, guys. We love you. Appreciate the holiday.
Yeah. Take care.
Catch y'all next week.